In June and August last year, we reported on Greater Manchester Police Special Constable Andrew Parkinson, who was arrested, charged and found guilty of assault against a 7-year-old child after the child accidentally squirted the 55-year-old with some water from a water pistol. Parkinson was said to have grabbed the boy by the neck and shoulders and then picked the boy up and carried him to his parents' house. Parkinson was found guilty of assault but told his probation officer that he felt he had done nothing wrong. During the trial, prosecutor Joshua Sanderson Kirk said he was walking through the Bolton street where both he and the boy's family lived at the time. The child, who cannot be named for legal reasons, was playing with another child and they were spraying each other with water. The boy accidentally sprayed Parkinson and he immediately became angry. The child then stumbled over a rock and fell into the special constable, which Parkinson took to be a deliberate headbutt. 55-year-old man, 7-year-old child, and he thought the kid was deliberately trying to headbutt him. Mr. Sanderson Kirk said he then took hold of the boy around his neck and shoulders, picked him up and carried him to his father's house. Now, I want to point out that the child was not injured in the incident, but it's important to remember that an assault does not have to be physical. If somebody threatens you with imminent violence, that's assault in itself. Then if they put hands on you, that would then increase to assault and battery, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, or a number of other increased offences depending on the level of violence used. However, the boy was left traumatised. District Judge Wendy Lloyd at the time said his years of experience meant he should have known better. She said society has to send out a message that it is completely unacceptable to manhandle a child in this way. You were a grown man and he was a little child, and you used that to your advantage. Parkinson of Willows Lane in Bolton was handed a restraining order which prevents him from contacting either the boy or his parents, and was also ordered to pay prosecution costs and £250 compensation to the boy's family and carry out 25 rehabilitation days with the probation service and some unpaid work. Now Parkinson has faced his misconduct hearing for the conviction. As serving plod, special or otherwise, a conviction means an automatic misconduct hearing. That was held this week, chaired by Greater Manchester Police Chief Constable Stephen Watson. Now let me just point out that the Metropolitan Police Commissioner Mark Rowley keeps claiming in articles that he can't dismiss officers and that it has to be done by a legally qualified chair. And as I've said many times, there are forces across the country whose Chief Constable chairs misconduct hearings. I'll just let you think about that for a few seconds. Anyway, on the 12th of January this year, Chief Constable Stephen Watson led the misconduct hearing in which it was concluded that Parkinson's actions did amount to gross misconduct and was a sackable offence, for which he was dismissed, although Parkinson had already resigned. Watson said, Mr. Parkinson's offending behaviour was clearly unlawful, contrary to the clearest of instructions as to the standards required of our officers, and reckless as to the potential risk of injury to another implied in his actions. What is clear to me is that this episode marks a regrettable lapse in judgment. His behaviour is at odds with the fact that as an effective volunteer police officer, Mr. Parkinson was held to be an otherwise decent and hard-working officer who has shown sustained commitment to public service over 3 decades. It remains clear, however, that all of these positive personal attributes do not outweigh the potential for the loss of confidence that would ensue if Mr. Parkinson would have been permitted to continue to perform in the office of constable. Had Mr. Parkinson not resigned, I would have dismissed him from the service. So, yet again, another cop, albeit a special cop, who simply couldn't control his emotions, even against a 7-year-old child. The mentality of many police is exactly the same as this. I won't say most or all, because although there are some absolute melts in the police, and although some do seem to enjoy strip searching underage people, I do think that the majority of behaviour like this comes from police who are more comfortable going hands-on with adults, maybe in the hope that they fight back. Who knows? But either way, Parkinson's now gone, and although he had already resigned before being dismissed, he has now been placed on the College of Policing's charity boxing match competitor list at the College of Policing. And so,